Hi everyone, welcome back to Kindness Stories, the channel where we share the most unbelievable real-life stories that prove how compassion, courage, and a little kindness can change the world. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and stay with us till the end because today's story is one that will stay with you forever. This is the true story of a shy girl who was humiliated in the worst way imaginable by her school bullies. But what happened next is something you won't believe. Her name was Emily. Emily was the quiet one in class, the girl who always sat near the window, her hair partly covering her face, lost in her notebook. She was the type of girl who teachers described as bright, but withdrawn, polite, but distant. Her only friend, if you could call her that, was her journal. She'd write page after page of her thoughts, dreams, and sometimes her fears. She had a loving mom who worked 2 jobs to make ends meet, and a little brother named Oliver who adored her. But at school, she was invisible to most and a target to some. It all started when Emily transferred to Ridgefield High in her sophomore year. She hoped she could blend in, keep her head down, and maybe, just maybe, make a friend who'd sit with her at lunch. But on her very first day, she crossed paths with Megan and her clique. Megan was the queen bee of Ridgefield High, rich, popular, with a cold smile and sharper claws than anyone could see at first glance. Beside her were Ashley and Brooke, her loyal shadows, who laughed at her jokes and followed her lead no matter what. At first, Megan didn't even notice Emily, but one day, during lunch in the cafeteria, Emily accidentally bumped into Megan, spilling a bit of juice on Megan's designer sweater. It was such a small thing, an accident anyone could have made, but for Megan, it was enough to single Emily out, to mark her as prey. At first, the bullying was subtle. A shove in the hallway, cruel whispers behind her back, mean notes left in her locker. Emily would come home every day, run to her room, and cry into her pillow so her mom wouldn't hear. She didn't want to be a burden. Her mom already worked 2 jobs. She didn't need more to worry about. But things only got worse. Megan's cruelty grew bolder when she saw Emily wouldn't fight back. They'd corner her in the bathroom, dump her books in the trash, smear ketchup on her backpack. They made up rumors that Emily was a freak, that she'd done horrible things to animals, anything to isolate her further. She had no one to sit with at lunch, no one to walk with between classes. Even the teachers, if they suspected, turned a blind eye. Megan's dad was on the school board. After all. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a rainy Thursday. Emily was in the bathroom, trying to clean chocolate milk off her blouse after Megan had accidentally spilled it on her in the cafeteria. She heard the bathroom door slam open. Her heart raced. She knew that sound. It was Megan and her girls. Well, if it isn't our favorite little rat, Megan sneered, her eyes glittering with malice. Emily backed away, clutching her wet blouse. Please. I didn't do anything. That's the problem. You never do anything. You just stand there and take it. Where's the fun in that? Megan laughed. Ashley and Brooke giggled behind her. Emily looked for an exit, but Megan blocked her path. In one swift move, Megan shoved her toward the row of stalls. Get in, she commanded. Emily shook her head, tears welling up. No, please. Megan, I'll do anything. You will. Megan hissed, pushing her harder. Emily stumbled backward into the stall. Megan grabbed her by the hair and forced her to her knees in front of the toilet. You think you're better than us, too good to talk to us? Well, let's see how good you taste toilet water. Emily screamed, but the girls were too strong. Ashley held her arms behind her back. Brooke pinched her nose until she opened her mouth, and Megan shoved her head toward the toilet bowl, the cold porcelain against her cheek. The smell, it was too much. Emily gagged and struggled, but they were relentless. They forced her face closer until her lips touched the filthy water. Her screams turned to choke sobs. Drink it. Freak, Megan ordered. Emily closed her eyes, humiliated beyond words. She thought of her mom, her little brother. If they ever knew, they'd be heartbroken. She felt so alone, so powerless. And then, in that moment of total darkness, something inside Emily snapped. It was as if a door she'd kept shut for years suddenly burst open. She realized she'd had enough. When they finally let her go. They laughed as she scrambled out of the stall, soaking wet and sobbing. Megan pulled out her phone, snapping photos. If you ever tell anyone, these go viral, understand. Toilet. Girl. Asterisk Emily didn't respond. She just ran. She ran all the way home in the rain, her clothes drenched, her heart pounding. She locked herself in her room, curled up on the floor, and for the first time, she didn't cry. She didn't have any tears left. Instead, she lay there in silence, listening to her brother's soft snores in the next room, her mind racing. She knew she couldn't take this anymore, but what could she do? Asterisk the next morning. Emily didn't go to school. She told her mom she was sick, which wasn't a lie. Her spirit was sick. She stayed home and searched online for ways to deal with bullies. The usual advice felt empty. Tell a teacher, stand up for yourself. Emily knew these girls wouldn't stop until they destroyed her. And then, while scrolling through an old forum, she found a story about a girl who exposed her bullies by secretly recording them. It gave Emily an idea. Asterisk for weeks, Emily pretended nothing had changed. She went back to school, kept her head down, and endured their torments. But this time, she had a plan. She saved up what little money she had from tutoring her neighbor's kid and bought a tiny hidden camera. Disguised as a button for her backpack, she learned how to use it, how to position it so no one would suspect a thing. Asterisk the next time Megan and her crew cornered her, Emily hit record. She endured their insults, their cruel games, but inside she felt strong. Every word was evidence. She collected hours of footage, each clip a nail in the coffin of their power over her. She even got a recording of Megan bragging about how she could do anything she wanted because her dad was on the school board. Asterisk, but Emily knew that just handing the footage to the school wouldn't work. The staff always protected Megan. She needed something bigger. So she created an anonymous social media account and started posting short clips. At first, they didn't get much attention, but one day, she posted the video of Megan forcing her to drink toilet water. The video went viral. Overnight. Asterisk students who'd once ignored her now looked at Megan and her crew with disgust. Parents called the school demanding answers. News outlets picked up the story. Suddenly, Ridgefield High was in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The school board had no choice but to suspend Megan, Ashley, and Brooke indefinitely. Megan's father resigned from the board in shame. Asterisk, but the real blow came when Emily's story reached a local lawyer who specialized in bullying cases. He offered to represent her pro bono. Together, they filed charges for assault and harassment. Megan's family tried to bury the story, but the footage was everywhere. No amount of hush money could erase what the world had seen. Asterisk Megan's clique fell apart. Ashley and Brooke turned on her to save themselves, testifying that Megan had been the ringleader. Megan, who had once strutted through the halls like a queen, now sat at home, suspended, facing charges that would follow her for the rest of her life. Her reputation was shattered. She lost her scholarship to the college she dreamed of attending. She was paralyzed, not physically, but socially and legally. She would never hold power over someone like Emily again. Asterisk as for Emily, she didn't stop there. With the settlement money from the lawsuit, she helped her mom quit one of her jobs so she could spend more time with Oliver. Emily used her experience to start a blog about bullying awareness, sharing her story and helping others find their voice. She was invited to speak at schools across the state, her once quiet voice now echoing in auditoriums filled with students who looked up to her. Asterisk she even made friends, real friends, who loved her for her courage and kindness. She joined the school's journalism club, using her writing to shine a light on injustice. Emily still had her quiet moments, her days when the memories haunted her, but now, when she looked in the mirror, she didn't see the shy, powerless girl anymore. She saw a fighter, a survivor. Asterisk years later, Emily stood on the stage at her college graduation. She looked out at the sea of faces, her mom and Oliver cheering in the front row. She'd been accepted to a top university with a full scholarship to study law. She wanted to defend kids like her, kids who felt small and alone, kids who needed someone to believe in them. She knew the scars of her past would always be there, but she also knew they'd made her stronger. Asterisk sometimes, late at night, Emily would open her old journal, flipping through the pages where she'd once poured out her pain and fear. She'd smile, close the book, and write a new page, one filled with hope, bravery, and a promise to herself that no one would ever break her spirit again. Asterisk and so, Emily's story became more than just revenge. It became a reminder that Sometimes the quietest voices have the loudest roar when they find that courage, that kindness, even to yourself, can be the strongest weapon against cruelty, and that no bully, no matter how powerful they think they are, can stand aga.